Hey YouTube, this is Dean making another vid. If you like my content, please consider hitting the like button. Also, please consider subscribing, as it is very much appreciated. Okay, said I'd do it, so I am. This is my Andrew Kirkham collection. Now, I got onto Andy Kirkham fairly early on in my journey. I was buying strikers, I don't know, this was about 5-6 years ago. And I was buying some Beaver Bushcraft ones, and I got onto this one, the 17th century Austrian. And I said, hell yeah. Because they were selling this one as a one-off design by Andy Kirkham, which they often do. Not so much this now, these days. I haven't seen one for a while, but they often had a collaboration with a couple of makers, and Andy was one of them, and they would sell a design made by them. Anyway, I ended up buying this one, and I'd never heard of him before, so I got the 17th century Austrian, and I fell in love with his craftsmanship. So I looked him up, found out who he was, and so I started pursuing whether I could buy a striker off him. And then I got onto him and eventually ended up buying one or two, and obviously cascaded from there. Anyway, that's the 17th century Austrian. The first, I'm pretty sure it was the first one I ever got. Now, I did buy this one through Beaver Bushcraft. It does not have Andy's touch mark on it. Fantastic design. Very traditional in the way that it looks like a single curl colonial, but from from what they were saying, it is a 17th century Austrian design. So it's got the single curl with the twists, and these, as far as I know, those things are for, those little divots are for snapping, flints, as far as I know. I'm not sure, but that's what I assume. I put it in this kit. It's got heaps of stuff in it, Amadou and rocks, everything. And as per all of Andy's work, brilliant sparks. So yeah, fantastic, beautiful work as per normal. There it is there. Both sides. Reasonably small striker. Most of Andy's work is fairly small as far as his strikers go. He goes for the traditional sizes, except for when I ask him to do strikers a bit bigger, which is typical because I tended to size them for my hands. And that brings me on to, as soon as I bought a few of his designs, the standard ones, I then wanted, obviously, to make a couple of customs, and I found that he was up for the task of making any design I wanted, basically. So that was why I got onto making some customs. So that was, and I sort of started pushing the boundaries of what could be made as far as customs go. I'll do all the customs first, and then, so that was the Austrian, and then I went into, I'm pretty sure as far as the first custom I did was my single King's Crown. Now this one is basically what I wanted in a striker. It's a big striker, bent curved strike face, has the Orion stamp on it, has Andy's touch mark, big double crown, ram's head on it. Yeah, everything about it really fits well in the pinch grip. Sparks like a champ. Yeah, everything I wanted. Really nice thick strike face. It's just magnificent work and everything I wanted in a striker. That was designed by me. I had seen a King's Crown, but it was a lot smaller. And then I just upsized it to what I wanted as far as sizing goes. And then I keep it in that slipcase. You'll notice Jason has one as well, but he changed it a bit. I did ask Andy not to make any of the same as that, and he did make Jason one, but his has got a really tight, different curls on them. Mine is exactly what I asked him to do, and yeah, so Jason's is different. So Andy has kept to that. Then I'd seen dragons, and I've got a love affair with dragons. So I asked, pretty sure I asked, yeah, I'm pretty sure this one was the next one. But I'm a bit out of sorts with as far as which one came next. But anyway, that's my dragon, Andy Kirkham dragon. Again, typical C type. Yeah, this is yeah, a very special one. I love fantasy strikers, especially dragons. Thinking about it now, I probably should have had horns on it. That's the only thing I didn't. And I've seen a few now where they had twisted horns on them. And if I ever got it now, but the only problem is if you put horns on them, they do get in the way. But this, it's a fantastic striker. The detail on the faces, everything is beautiful. Andy's work is always first class. Yeah, it's just outrageously good. You know, like I can't speak highly enough of his work. You can see why I lean on him so hard as far as his work goes. As far as pricing goes, I won't say how much I paid for this. They are, once you add in shipping and that, they do tend to be fairly reasonably expensive, but they're handmade. They're fantastic work, and yeah, I don't begrudge paying for this sort of work. The earlier stuff was reasonably priced as far as look. I see. I don't pricing. I don't really want to go into because yeah, just talk to Andy. And your economics, I have no qualms about what I paid for these things. So you know, it's a collection for me and the love of strikers. So that's what I'm trying to say. So yeah. Anyway, this is the dragon sparking. All Andy's works like that. As far as I know, he does do a oil quench, but yeah, I've never had a problem with his strikers sparking. So yeah, fantastic. You can also see on every one of the ones, he's actually annealed as well, all down here, all here, and just left the strike face, so that if I ever did drop them, they most likely won't break. So yeah. Then we've got the English double curl. Again, I wanted it is a custom because I'd asked him to make it. It is a very traditional English style, but yeah, it was outside. They were a lot smaller English ones, and they tended to be. They usually put. I asked him to squash these down, and yeah, it fits. When I was doing it, I hadn't really worked out my. It still fits in the pinch grip perfectly. The sizing is fantastic. Um, I should have. I hadn't really got on my style perfectly then. Like I should have kept a little room for my finger locking in. It still works fantastically, and he did exactly what I asked him to do. Um, you can lock your finger here, but I did like the idea of locking my fingers there. That's the only thing with this one, and I still really like this one. Um, with as far as the Orion goes, my English, my double curl King's Crown's the only one that's got my Orion mark on it. So yeah, I better get this moving along, otherwise this video is going to be like an hour long. Sparks really well. That's the English double curl. This is one of my latest ones. Oval with detail work. Again, he did a fantastic job. Now, he did pin this one. Yeah, he pinned it in there. Yeah, run the pin through there and there. This is, yeah, he really stepped up for this one. This is, yeah, fantastic work. It's almost a shame to strike on it. You can spark on both sides. It's, yeah, the work, detail work on this is, yeah, beautiful. Once you step up into this sort of striker, but the pricing does start to really go up. But again, you're asking him to do a fair bit of work, so you know, like you just have to bear with it. One side, two sides. There it is. There, quite a thick striker. Beautiful work as per normal. I didn't show you this one up close. Double curl English, and there's the dragon and detail work on the head. Again, I just keep everything. I try to keep them like that was designed to fit in that box. That's a German silver traditional tobacco tin. Jason's custom he sent me. It's got the touch mark and my name on it. I showed that one just recently on my Flint and Steel Saturday. Comes in beautiful box. This is a custom scout kit that I've put together that I only just bought a little while ago. Now, I did add in a whole heap of English flint. Some of it was from Andy always sends flint with his strikers, so but I did pull out some flint from previous times. That's a pair of ember tongs that Andy made for me. Beautiful set of tongs, ember tongs. I'm going to get him to make a couple more sets up for me. Fantastic. Originally, the all, which is hideously sharp, and it's supposed to be, was attached to the striker, but I have since recently detached it because it is too difficult to use the striker being attached to the awl. So I detached that, but the workmanship on that is fantastic. It's just unbelievable. It's the most expensive set I have out of all of it, but the amount of work that went into all of it justifies the cost of it. There's the striker. I love this striker. It is just outrageously good. It's a big striker, but thoroughly quenched, annealed so that it can't break it. Sparks really well on either side, and because it was attached, it was really hard to use. But now that I've detached it, you can use it very easily. With all the kit, I've added everything in. It's got Amadou as well as a blower, and batons, all jute, the whole kit and caboodles, all in one thing. Everything in the one kit. That's the Scout kit. And then that leads me on to, that's all my customs. And then I've got Andy also gifted me a fork and a pry bar. So that's some work that Andy does other than strikers. He's an accomplished blacksmith as well that does other work, obviously. But yeah, I tend to lean on his striker work. All that flint is English flint that he's sent along with his strikers. Now these are all just standards. Yeah, I've left one inside. That's a oval. I'm going to pause this at the end of these. I'll go and get it. I love the ovals. Now I won't spark all of these but they all spark about the same. That's an oval. Mini R. One doesn't have the touch mark on it, which, yeah, anyway. That's a standard R-type that Andy makes. It's just one of his traditional standard R-types, English R-type. Quite often he will put a shepherd's crook and twists in, but this one is, I actually like the standard ones that he does, and that's a very traditional, bare bones traditional English R-type from Andy Kirkham. That's, you couldn't get any more traditional than an English R-type like that. These two are, that's what, if you ever saw two traditional English strikers, they are the two that you will see most times. So English R-type and an English C-type. They're the two. And I had to get both of them, obviously. So, like, you just can't go without those two. And then I've got a snail, a teardrop, Viking tear. Again, you can strike on either side. Second last, I'll have to pause this because I'll have to go and get it. Scottish snail. And that's all of the traditionals that I've got. Like these are traditional. These are all the standards that I've got from Andy. And then I'll pause you and I'll come back in a minute. Okay, back again. So I was doing that one last. That's a snail, traditional Scottish snail. Yeah, fantastic. And that pretty well covers. I don't think I could buy any different of the standard strikers. I've got just about every one that Andy makes as a standard one that he makes. And then I saw Mark Horton from Beaver Bushcraft. He had two of these, and he had a C-type and a traditional R-type that were oversized, and they were ridiculously large. But I think they were 25 centimetres long. Anyway, I asked Andy to make me an R-type that was oversized, but yeah, slightly downsized a little bit. But I wanted all of the features put on one of an R-type. So he put a reverse twist, the shepherd's crook, and the extended tail. I have the one thing I did do is most of the time with the curly tail, they actually put them on the other side, which never made sense to me because when you're striking, I would always thought because you'd be striking and it'd hit the tail on that side. So I got Andy to put it on the other side. Anyway, that's my oversized R-type with all the features. This is the one I should have got the Orion put back in. But as I said, I've only got one that's got the Orion in it. And yeah, no, pretty well, I should stick with that. And I have got some that haven't got his touch mark on, and I thought, I should buy duplicates that have got his touch mark on. But again, I'm just buying duplicates that have got touch marks. So yeah, but yeah, I'll just show you this one as far as its sparking ability goes. It's got cortex all over it, but that tinging is the time seems, well, and this extra bit here seems to make it ting. So yeah, I don't know. It's one of the only strikers that actually tings, which is fantastic. I don't know, just a different thing. But yeah, that's yeah, it's this one is one that's really special to me. It for some reason it just, there's some strikers that just really suit your style. This is one of them, and for some reason it just sits in my hand really well. It just locks in, suits my grip really well, and is everything I've ever wanted in a striker as well. If I had to choose one out of all of them, I couldn't do it. Every one of them has something that I like about them. Even my custom King's Crown, I always thought it was the one striker that I would ever want, and I'd never want another one after it. But then I bought others, and it just kept going, and I just kept getting more and more, and I just kept finding certain strikers that suited my grip and suited my hands, and there I could not choose one over another. So that's just the way it is. So yeah, I could never. I do have certain strikers that I lean on. I've got a single curl colonial inside that is one of my favourite strikers. But yeah, and I tend to use it a fair bit. But as far as favourite Smiths, Andy is by far my favourite Smith, as far as, and that's why if I ever need a custom, basically I lean on him. I tend to, if I need one made, I go to him because yeah, I know he's up for the challenge, and I've never been disappointed when I ask him to ask him to make something for me. He'll say, yeah, let's do it. And he'll sit down, and if I ask him for something silly or it's not going to work, he'll say, oh, this is why it doesn't work. Let's do it this way, and he'll explain why, and he works with you. So yeah. But anyway, that's my Andy Kirkham collection. Yeah, as you can see, I have a fair few, but and I've been able to compare his work with my other collection, and yeah, it easily compares with the best in the world. And yeah, he is one of the best Smiths in the world. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, and as I said, every one of them has sparked. And if you buy just his standard strikers, they're very reasonably cost effective. They don't, even when you factor in the postage, and he always sends flips with them. So yeah, but if you do go into his custom work, he will step the price up, but that's only fair, like asking him to do something. The one thing I did note, sometimes it will take him a fair while. He's only one man. You just have to work with him, you just have to take it. And I tend to send a bit of work his way, and people say, yeah, you just have to bear with it. The fact that he is only one man, and he does have a life as well. So so that's the way it goes. But anyway, it's my Andrew Kirkham striker collection. I don't want this video to be too long, so yeah, I'll sign off here. Thanks for watching.